Hey y'all, it's your girl DJ with Plan for Keeps, a dating app and podcast, and I am here with another episode, solo episode, specifically speaking on vasopressin bonding. So, a couple of coaches who have came on my show in the past, and then also dating coaches online have been speaking about vasopressin and how a woman should ensure that she vasopressin bonds with a man before engaging in any type of sexual activity. So this interests me, and I decided to do just a little bit of my own research on vasopressin bonding and, if it's a tool to use within dating to help you center yourself within dating so you can pick the right person. So if you stumbled upon this video because you're interested in vasopressin bonding and want to be able to just kind of indulge in more videos about it, this probably isn't the channel for you. I'm not a neuroscientist or a neurologist. I'm just somebody who's giving my opinion on it. Now, if you're somebody who is interested in learning about setting boundaries, shadow work, and learning to center yourself within your dating experiences so you can create a great dating life and eventually find the partner that's right for you, then this is the channel for you. And I encourage you to click subscribe below. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dive straight in. So, there are, I want to say, three main, kind of brain hormones, chemicals that relate to love, dating, love relationships. So the first one is oxytocin. Oxytocin is known as the love hormone. It is released while hugging, kissing. You can feel it while you're getting a warm bath because you're submerged in water. Sexual activity. So you feel oxytocin, that love hormone, usually during those activities. Then there's vasopressin. So vasopressin is actually in both men and women. It's just very high in men. And vasopressin is responsible for assisting with controlling your blood pressure. It assists in electrolyte balance, blood volume, and since it's way higher in men, vasopressin is also released in the body for men during stressful situations where they're working with individuals to solve a problem. It's also released when men are trying to protect their loved ones or territory. It is also released during while they're sexually, I think it's attracted. I want to say when it's not activity. Well, it is during activity, but while they're sexually attracted to one as well. So, and then there's dopamine. And dopamine is basically the reward chemical within the brain. So after you've kind of achieved a goal or you got a reward for something, then that kind of chemical kicks in. So those are the three. And in a quote unquote normal situation, and I'm going to say quote unquote because nothing is ever black and white. With men have to vasopressin bond first with a woman or someone of interest romantically. And then that opens up the door for oxytocin, the feel-good hormone, the love, the affection, all of that good stuff for them to really show that towards someone. With women, it's reversed. So women usually feel the oxytocin first. So they get that love hormone after, they release that love hormone after sexual activity, touching, hugging, all of that stuff. So the main reason why dating coaches will tell women to vasopressin bond with a man first before engaging in sexual activity is because when women normally have sex, they release oxytocin. The man makes their body feel good. Most of the time, some of the time, they fall in love, right? Versus a man, if he has the vasopressin bond first, that means other things need to occur, like solving problems together in some type of way, or you really positioning yourself to, in his mind, as somebody he sees in the future. That's that vasopressin bond. And let's say both of you have sex and you have not vasopressin bond yet. He's having sex with you and he will create oxytocin as well. But since his vasopressin levels are way higher, he will create only enough oxytocin to push the nut out. So that's the reason why coaches and even, neuron scientists will say, wait before you have sex. Now, my issue is more towards not thinking of the attachment styles. So they say that over 50% of the population has an insecure attachment style due to traumas, due to seeing how things were in their particular environment growing up. A lot of us have been brought up in survival mode. So a lot of us operate in our dating and relationships in that way. So for that reason, I believe most women vasopressin bond more than what the neuroscience puts out there. So the study was first originated on rats, and seeing how they act in monogamous relationships, and we're putting them in different areas, and then seeing how one rat would be more monogamous if they had babies with a woman in an environment where food was scarce and she wouldn't be able to take care of her young, and then putting rats in another area where the area was prosperous and they could just, have sex with a woman rat. She has babies and they could just move on because she was able to take care of the young. So this is where the studies, I believe, were originated, and it's kind of blossomed from there. Due to human beings being just a little bit more, just depending on our situations, we can be a little bit more skewed. I don't fully agree with all of the research. And then again, with women, why I say I feel like there's more women vasopressin bonding more is because there's a lot of women who have their guards up. So they're either not letting the natural order of oxytocin, vasopressin bonding, and then falling in love happen. So they're a little bit more aggressive. They might be stressed because they're falling for this person in a way, but their guards are completely up and they don't want to go with the natural order. Or there are women who who feel like they need to be ride or dies and they want to jump in and they want to be helpful. So I think these women have kind of the right idea, but they sacrifice themselves. And majority of the time they sacrifice themselves for men who are stuck in their own toxic patterns. And they are somebody who, most of those men, vasopressin thresholds are so high because of the toxic patterns that they've been through, because they believe survival mode is the only way, and probably because they feel like that's what love is. Vasopressin bonding, in their mind, that's what love is. We solve challenges together. You be my ride or die. You do what you're supposed to do for me to maintain a relationship, and that's it. And then you get stuck in these cycles. And then for some of those women, they're thinking, okay, if I go through these challenges with them, then eventually the affection, the love, the oxytocin thing will come through. And then it doesn't come through because, kind of like what I mentioned, due to their own things that they've been through, they don't know how to let that open that door for that oxytocin to come in. So, is vasopressin bonding a good tool? I would say yes. Depending on your situation. Do I feel like you should just use it solely to measure out, okay, I'm not going to have sex with him? I'm going to say no, because I think that depends on the individual basis. And I feel like if you're not doing the work along with using these different tools on yourself, to understand your boundaries, to understand what you want from a partner so you can work towards those goals together, there's no way a person is going to bond with you, no matter what tips, tricks, and things that you get on the internet or things you hear from a coach. Like, you really have to get still, be by yourself, understand yourself, know yourself, so you can center yourself in the relationship. Because one thing about vasopressin bonding men, if you don't provide any goals or have any boundaries for them to aspire to understand you, to know you, they can't bond to you, right? And I think, and then the same for women who are kind of blocking, they're blocking that off, like, and they're not trying to follow the natural order, and they just, a man can't bond to you if you don't let them know the real you. So if you want to use vasopressin bonding as a tool, first, understand who you are as a person. Understand what you want your relationship to look like. Understand your boundaries, your triggers. So when you're dealing with somebody, you can express those things and lay it out for that person. And if it's something that they need to aspire to, they will, you know what I'm saying, to get close to you, to show you affection. If you are somebody who doesn't mind having sex straight off the bat, you know, I want to speak to the women specifically who don't know their bodies, though, who hasn't taken the time to study what they like sexually, who, that's something you will need to do if you want to still use vasopressin, and maybe you decide you want to have sex sooner than what a professional may tell you. What goals do you have for this person to try to move for you sexually? What things can y'all do to work together to reach your climax? Because most of the time, a man who likes you, they want to please you. So keep that in mind. So after he nuts and he releases that oxytocin, there's a possibility that vasopressin bonding still took place, because at the end of the day, when you guys were sexually involved, you guys were doing something together to reach a goal, to reach a climax. So keep that in mind. So my whole message in this video is, yes, vasopressin is helpful, but vasopressin will not be helpful if you don't do the work. If you don't get quiet, get to know yourself before you put yourself out there in the dating pool. I hope this video and my take helped. If it did, leave me a comment. Let me know what other things you would like me to speak on. And until next time.